You may be seated. Court does call the case of the people, the state of Michigan versus Joshua Timothy Lee. Counsel, please state your appearances for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Keith Clark, Assistant Attorney General, P56050, on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicholas Somberg, not Joshua Lee, who is present here.
Good afternoon. And the defendant, the record would note, is present. Date and time set for preliminary examination. The parties are ready to proceed on this matter.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would like to call our first witness.
And that would be the individual with the initials of BB.
That is correct, Your Honor.
That is correct. And so that the record is also clear there. Go ahead. The individuals, the witnesses testifying will only be referred to by their initials. Defense counsel has stipulated to that, and I expect all the parties will abide by that. We will make sure that for purposes of the record, the full names are included in some other fashion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's excluded.
Well, I was saying now that it's been called, she's going to exclude.
Okay. And as I indicated to counsel, for purposes of how the witnesses will be entering the courtroom, it's going to take a minute to accomplish that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you like me to stand at the podium, or may I stay here at my desk? What would you prefer?
Either is fine. We will make sure, as long as it's the polycom or the one thing that has to pick you up that's on the podium. But with your voice, it should be able to pick you up from the tape. It shouldn't be an issue, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So wherever you are comfortable, I guess is my statement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But we shouldn't have a problem with the sound. She won't be able to hear.
Your Honor, before we begin with this testimony of the witness, if I may,
Yes.
we would move to sequester any or all potential witnesses. We have one witness in the courtroom, which would be actually Inspector Zwolinski. I'd ask him to step into the hallway.
All right.
I don't know if defense has any witnesses.
No witnesses.
All right.
I would like to make an exception for the officer in charge. If I may.
The officer in charge may remain. And well, as the defendant, and thank you. The witnesses are excluded. Okay. And you heard, excuse me, I don't know what you're saying. She won't be able to tell.
It's never let us stop.
Right. And so you think.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. As long as we're reasonably assured of that. All right. May I have her sworn?
Raise your right hand. And you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Have a seat. Don't state your name, state your initials of your first and last name.
BB.
Thank you. All right. You may inquire.
Thank you. And for our prior discussion, would it be okay if the victim's advocate takes a seat?
Absolutely. And we will. I need a chair for the. Here's one right behind you.
Your Honor, I think I will move up here,
All
a
right,
little bit closer.
whichever is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your initials are BB, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I noticed that you're here today in handcuffs. Why are you in handcuffs? How come?
Currently in prison.
Where at?
Women's here on that.
Okay. Did something happen while you were a prisoner at Huron Valley Women's Correctional Facility that brought you here today?
Yes.
What happened?
Sexually assaulted.
Okay, let's talk about that. When you were there, did you meet a corrections officer by the name of Joshua Lee?
Yes.
Do you see Mr. Lee here today in the courtroom?
Yes.
I know it's hard with your hands in cuffs, but can you point to him, please, and let me know what he's wearing?
Blue shirt with a tie. Yes.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
this person right here,
Yes.
if the record may reflect, the witness has identified the defendant, Mr. Joshua Timothy Lee.
No objection to identification.
Record shall so reflect.
Thank you. So how did you meet Mr. Lee?
Just to being an inmate working in food service and the interaction that we have.
Okay. How was Mr. Lee there? What was he doing there?
Sometimes working as scanner for us inmates as we come in from the line scan, or just taking a quick break from the outside cold and just talking around with the other staff.
Okay. So if I understand right, he worked for the Department of Corrections?
Correct.
And what kind of job did he do? What's the title of his job, if you know?
I do not know for certain. There was a lot of monitoring outside, making sure prisoners are around the walkways correctly.
Was he a corrections officer?
Yes.
Okay. As a result of you interacting with him, did you begin a relationship?
No.
Okay. Well, what happened? Tell me, how did you guys start getting in contact? How did it lead up to a sexual assault?
Flirting around. He was receptive to the flirting, so I felt comfortable and pushing it a little bit further. And due to the body cams coming out, I was suggested that writing notes would be a better option than voicing my feelings to him. So I asked him to write that, so I started writing notes and sticking it in places around where he would be able to pick it up, like not noticeable.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You said he was suggested to you that you should write notes. Who made that suggestion? By he?
If writing should be a better option, yes.
Okay. How did he know where to look for your notes?
I would tell him where it was, and then
Did he ever write any notes to you?
no.
What did you put in those notes, Mr. Lee?
How I felt about him, how I liked him, thought he was nice, and things I wanted to do with him.
What type of things did you say that you wanted to do with him?
I wanted to kiss. I wanted to do stuff and be with him.
Okay. Did he ever respond to you after you wrote those requests to him?
Only if I saw him in person again in passing, and I'd ask if he read it and highlighted the questions I had about the notes that I wanted to know, and then get an answer from him verbally.
And what did he say?
He told me that when I asked, "What did you see?" that I said I wanted to kiss you. He was like, mm-hmm. And then he said that it had to be somewhere where, obviously, where there was no cameras. Everywhere in the facility is cameras, and it was like, "You're the boss, you know, you're smart, you can figure something out." And that was when I just found a place in the back of the food service building.
So let me back up a little bit, slow down to help make sure I understand. So you asked him what he thought about, you're asking if he wanted to get together to be intimate. Is that correct?
Correct.
And he replied saying, yes, but you have to find a place where he won't get caught, essentially.
Correct.
And he left that up to you to do it.
Yes.
And again, was there a reason he said he asked you to do it? Or what did he tell you, I guess I should say, about finding a place to do it where you won't get caught?
It wouldn't happen unless it was in that place where we weren't on camera. And until there was a place that wasn't any camera, then there would be more of an opportunity to do it.
Okay. After that occurred, did you find a space where you could be where there weren't any cameras?
Yes.
Was it one spot or more than one spot?
On 2 spots.
Okay. What were the 2 spots that you figured out didn't have cameras, or you could be where you wouldn't be seen by cameras?
There was one back by the deep freezer. There was pallets that made a blind spot to the camera back there. And then there's a staff bathroom.
So, if I understand, there's no camera in the staff bathroom, or you didn't believe there's any camera in the staff bathroom?
No.
And there were pallets that were blocking the camera back by the freezer.
Yes.
Did you share that information with Mr. Lee?
What information?
Where the blind spots were, what you guys could get together?
Yes. Yeah, I made sure, like, I had to reassure, like, a lot of times, no, like, they can't see, or the inmates around were busy working, that they're not paying attention to us. Or like, if this was not a good time, I'd be like, no, don't come right now.
Okay. Now let me take you to, let's say, March of 2025. Let's say approximately March, let's say March 8th, 2025. Was there an incident that occurred that brought people's attention away from you and Officer Lee?
Yes.
What happened?
A prisoner had a seizure on the line, so officers were called in and nurses, so they're all taking care of her on the floor.
What was the name of that prisoner, if you know?
I call her Queen. I don't know her real name.
Did you say Queen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So when Queen had her seizure, where was Mr. Lee and where were you?
I quickly summoned him to go to the back. Said the bathroom would be the perfect time to go in there and mess around.
Okay. How did you summon him? What happened?
He was like hanging around the chaha already, and so I was just like motioning to how everyone is distracted, and I said, come. And so we went back. And I don't know who followed, who went first, but I do know we went back to the back.
Okay. When you said the bathroom, what bathroom?
The staff bathroom, where it has to be open with their key, and once you're in, it's locked.
Okay. Did you have a key?
No.
Did Mr. Lee have a key?
Yes.
And how did Mr. Lee get in the bathroom, if you remember?
Probably.
Okay. Did you go in the bathroom with him?
Yes.
And again, this was while other prisoners and other staff were distracted by Queen's seizure.
Correct.
What happened when you went to the bathroom?
We both just kind of was standing there, and then I asked him what he wanted to do, and then we started kissing right there by the door again. Then he kind of pressed me against the wall and was making out, and he slowly was touching all over my body, and I was touching over his down to his area, and then it went to he kneeled down, and I asked him if he wanted to see anything, so I pulled my pants down, and he turned me around and squeezing my thighs, and I opened my butt lock, cheeks go open a little bit, and then spun me back around to where I was facing him again. Then he started putting his head facing my legs.
Okay, so let me slow you down just a little bit if I could. Okay. So you said that you were kissing, and when he pressed you up against the wall, you said you were touching his body with your hands. What part of his body did you touch with your hands?
I was touching the back of his head
Mhm.
while we was kissing, and so it was chest to chest. And then my hands were just slowly working down towards his area.
Okay.
And his hands was one hand was against the wall, the other one was just I don't really know where his other hand was right now.
Okay, but it was touching your body.
Yes.
Was it touching your back or something else?
I think it was kind of just like my shoulder. Like,
Okay.
it was just like that.
So you asked me if you wanted to see any part of your body, and you said you pulled down your pants. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you have anything on underneath your pants?
Just my underwear.
Did you pull down your underwear at the same time you pulled down your pants?
Yes.
Did you take your pants off, or did you just pull them down, or something else?
Down.
Okay, down to your shoes, so they were still around your ankles.
Yes.
Then you said he turned you around,
Yes.
and then he turned you back around. So now you were still facing towards him. And you said he was down on his knees or down or crouching or something else.
Down on his knees.
Okay, and then what happened?
He started putting his space in between my legs and he started like, beating me out.
Okay, so remember how I talked to you before, is that right, before today?
Yes.
I told you I may have to ask some really stupid questions. So this is a really stupid question. When you say eating you out, what part of his body touched what part of your body?
My foot was in his mouth.
Okay, did he use his tongue?
Yes.
And where did his tongue touch you?
My foot and his lip, like his lips and his tongue and all that was just touching my.
Okay, thank you. And your clit would be, again, this is a really dumb question. Your clit is part of your vaginal area, right? It's at the top up there somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. What happened then?
Then he like got up and summoned me over to the door, the toilet over there. The toilet seat was down, and he sat down. And I think that he had his head against the wall of the toilet, and I was like sitting on straddled against his over his knee. But since it was kind of hard with my pant legs still down, I had taken one of my legs out, so it would have been my left leg. I took out so I could sit more comfortably on his knee.
So let me slow you down there so I understand. And I apologize. I'm trying to slow this down so I can understand exactly what happened. He went and sat on the toilet. Is that right? I'm sorry, you have to say it out loud.
Yes.
Thank you. And did he pull you over? Did he wave you over or something else?
Just we were like holding hands.
And then that's when you straddled his leg. Do you remember if it was his right leg or his left leg, if you remember?
Left leg.
Okay. Would it help if I sat and showed, like, was it,
Yeah, it was that one.
was this leg? Okay.
Yes.
May the record reflect she indicated the left leg.
That's right.
And you said you had trouble because you still had your pants around both your ankles.
Yes.
So then you took it off one of your ankles, your left ankle.
Yes.
Then what happened?
Then I just leaned forward to him and was still making out with him. And he was still massaging my and fingering like up in my
Okay. So again, you said he was touching your, what part of his body was touching your?
hands.
His hands. Okay, thank you. And he was able to do that even though you were straddling his leg?
Yes.
Okay. And his finger went inside your. This is a really dumb question. How do you know his finger went inside your?
I feel it.
Okay, thank you. Then what happened?
We still continued to kiss, and then he like put his hands up my shirts and then up into my bra, was massaging one of my, so it would have been my right. And then I revealed actually the button, the shirt all the way up, and then sucked a little bit of my nipple. And then it went into, that's when he unzipped his pants. And then that's when I gave him a pat on his, yes.
Okay, so let me slow you down a little bit. You said that he felt you up with his hand. Do you remember what hand it was? Was it one hand or both hands?
One hand.
Do you remember what hand it was, if you remember?
The left one.
Okay. And then you said he sucked your nipple. And again, this is a really dumb question, but I have to make sure I understand. What did he suck your nipple with? Thank you. And then you said that you gave him. Now, I think I know what that means, but again, I know it's a really dumb question. I'm not allowed to guess. When you said you gave him, what part of your body touched what part of his body?
This was in my mouth.
Okay. And again, really dumb question. How do you know his was in your mouth?
Like, you know,
Okay, thank you. And were you still straddling him when that happened? Did you get off his knee or something else?
I got off, so I could bend down easier.
Okay. And how long were you giving him head?
It was probably not more than a minute, 2 minutes, and then someone was pounding on the door.
Okay. Did he finish before someone was pounding on the door?
Yes.
How do you know he finished?
Because he said that he was about to come, and then I tasted it.
Okay. And you tasted it in your mouth? Okay. So he had it inside your mouth. What did you do with it when it was in your mouth? Okay. At the time this happened, did you want it to happen? Okay. So what happened after someone knocked on the door?
He said, Mr. Lee, hold on, and he was quickly getting up and buckling his thing back up and telling me, shh, be quiet, and I wait until it was clear. And somebody went to the door and looked out. They were already gone. And he stepped out. And I waited like a couple of seconds, and I looked, and then I went.
So he exited the bathroom first. Did he give you any instructions before he exited the bathroom?
He said just to wait, so it wasn't like we both just walking out at the same time.
And you said you checked and peeked before you came out of the
Yes.
things? Okay. Now, did you tell anyone that this had occurred right after it happened? Did you tell anyone about it when it first
No.
happened?
No.
Is there a reason that you didn't tell anybody about it when it first happened?
Yes, so he went in trouble.
And when he was in there, did he make any other requests to you that were kind of strange or bizarre that you remember?
In the bathroom.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Did he say anything about you passing gas?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. He said, you know, he likes his woman to fart. And that, if I didn't fart, that then I might not get what I want. But then I was just like, that was weird to me. And it was just something that he said, and it was kind of like just went. Then he asked me I do remember him asking me on the toilet what my fetishes were. And I was saying I didn't really have any, but then I just started like saying, oh yeah, I do like a few things, and then I was telling him like some of the stuff I like.
Okay. Now, after he left, did you have any further contact with him, with Officer Lee? Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
In passing on the walk, I would smile, say hi. Big yard with a lot more times we're in that direction. When it's been my people monitoring us out in the big yard, I would sit kind of close by it, talking. That's when I learned like his name, like his age, kind of his living situation. I was telling him the status of my case and kind of keeping him posted on when I was thinking about to leave.
Mm-hmm. Did he make any statements to you or any promises to you about the nature of your relationship?
Yeah, he had made me believe that I was the only one who was messing around, but other prisoners there were saying otherwise, which started making me suspicious. And then I do remember in the chow hall, I was like, why am I hearing that? And he's like, I don't know, it's not true.
And you were concerned about him being with other women, how come?
I didn't want to catch anything from all the hundreds of other women in there.
Okay. Catch anything, what do you mean by catch anything?
STD.
Okay. Now, eventually you did tell staff at the Department of Corrections about what happened. How come? What happened?
I was called, a housing unit officer called me down and said that the control center inspector, Zelensky, wants to speak with you. So I didn't know what it was for, and then he said, I want you to know you're not in trouble, but I was aware of something that happened, and then he said, I don't know if you recognize the name, and he just said officially, and I was like, oh, and then he's like, what do you mean? And I said, I think I know what you're saying, talking about. And then I said, he's like, is there anything that you are willing to share in detail? And he just made sure I felt comfortable, I wasn't gonna get in trouble, and then that's when he said, my name was brought up by him as one of the persons that was assaulted, and
Let me stop you there. When you said he, you mean Inspector Zwolinski told you that your name came up. Who brought up your name?
Mr. Lee did.
Oh, Mr. Lee
Yes.
had brought up your name. Okay, then go ahead.
And he was, Inspector Zawinski was like, I don't think there's very many burp holders in the prison. You're like, your name is burp holder, correct? And I said, yes. And then that's when I told him everything that happened.
All right. I understand, Your Honor. It is what it is.
That's okay.
Did before Inspector Zwolinski told you that Mr. Lee brought up your name, did you want to say anything about what happened?
Not that point, no, I still didn't know what I was in there for.
Okay. And what was different that you were able to tell Inspector Zwolinski about what happened?
I mean, I don't know, I guess I felt like, I did feel like I was in trouble, and I was trying to be honest, and I figured like if it was brought up and he's bringing up my name, which I thought we had it where we weren't gonna mention anything. So I didn't know why he would have mentioned my name, so that's when I just was like, I was just gonna go follow through and just tell him everything that had happened.
Okay. If I may have a second, please, Your Honor.
You may.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, very good. All right. Cross-examination.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. So I have a couple questions for you. So you were the one who initiated contact with Mr. Lee through flirting with him. And it was because he became receptive to that, you continued,
Yes.
correct? You were the one who proposed, I would call counter surveillance methods, so leaving notes in blind spots.
Yes.
And then after you proposed that, he said, okay, he agreed. But he never once left you a note,
No.
correct? When there was this distraction, he says another inmate had a seizure.
Yes.
Was Mr. Lee present in the same room as that?
Yes.
So you both saw it happen at the same time?
I don't know when you saw it and when I saw it, but we were like the chow hall is a huge open area. So yeah, we were both in the same.
When that happened, you were the one who proposed, hey, this kind of like, this is our chance, there's a distraction, let's go into the staff bathroom. And he obliged to that. When you were in the staff bathroom, were you ever not free to leave? Was anything about the interaction forced or coerced? Were you ever threatened at any time? You didn't tell him to stop? He didn't restrain you? And you said on direct, during the interaction at the time, you also wanted it to happen.
Yes.
After the bathroom incident, you did not tell anyone.
No, I did tell an inmate about a little bit of an idea of what I was doing, but like I never went into detail in any other Me.
Okay. When did you tell your fellow inmate? Like how long, like the same day, or was it a month later, somewhere in between?
Probably like 3 days later.
You didn't want to report anything, so Mr. Lee would not get in any trouble.
Correct.
And it was when you were approached by Mr. Zielinski that you thought that Deputy Lee had already disclosed. So that was why it was for that reason you said, well, now I'm going to come forward.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee did not force you to keep this a secret.
No.
You were not injured, physically injured by this? Okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may,
You may.
BB, are you aware of exactly what date this happened?
No.
It would be whatever date that Queen had a seizure, yes?
Yes.
And whatever date you were seen sneaking into the bathroom on video.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right.
No further questions.
All right. Step down.
Thank you.
And counsel, I had given the order that you had given me in chambers, so that's what I let my bailiff know. So that should be the next, LX should be the next individual.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Appreciate that. LX, yes.
Yes. Okay, swear.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Do not state your name, state your initials of your first and last name. Yes.
LX.
Okay. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss LX, I noticed that you're in a uniform and you're wearing handcuffs and a chain. How come? And where are you currently incarcerated? Women's Huron Valley, that's part of the Michigan Department of Corrections. Did something happen there while you were a prisoner at the Michigan Department of Corrections that brings you here today? What happened?
I engaged in sexual relationship.
Okay. And what was that officer's name? And do you see him in the courtroom, and can you please point to him? I know your hands are kind of limited, but can you point to him, please, if you see him in the courtroom? And what's he wearing? If I may, Your Honor, this person right here, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant, Mr. Joshua Lee.
That objection, record also reflect.
So tell me about how did you first meet Mr. Lee? And where were you working? What part of the prison were you working? Okay. And how did you guys meet? How did you begin talking to Mr. Lee?
I believe it was doing around, and I was on the back job, putting up the truck.
Okay. And then tell me about how you guys developed a relationship. What happened?
Just came by the workplace.
And what happened when he came by the workplace? What did you guys do?
They would just talk.
Did you ever talk about starting something, a physical relationship?
I'm not really sure. I don't remember.
Okay. Did you guys begin a physical relationship?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. When you said you think so, did you begin what you thought was a romantic relationship with Mr. Lee?
Yeah.
And again, this is a really silly question. How did you know, or for what reasons did you believe it was a romantic relationship? Okay. So did he say he loved you one time or more than one time, if you remember? Okay. Do you need a second? Okay. Now, as a result of your relationship, did you ever pass any notes, or was it just you guys speaking together?
I passed it out once.
Okay.
Me and he spoke.
Okay. Did you ever become physical with Mr. Lee? So tell me about that. Where's the first time that it happened, if you remember?
I was working on the line, and it was April 1st. And I asked if he wanted to.
And did you feel that that was an act of physical affection? Okay. Was there any other times that you were physical with Mr. Lee? So tell me about, was there an incident that occurred in the field house? Tell me about what happened at the field house.
And then we went to the back where we continued to kiss, and I gave him oral sex.
Okay. Now I'm going to have to slow you down. I know we talked about this before. I'm going to ask you some really silly questions, really dumb questions, so we understand what happened. Okay. You said you first started by kissing. Where were you kissing at first before you went into the bathroom? Okay. Tell me about that. What do you mean behind the exercise equipment? Where was that?
So there was ladies' restroom, and then there was a wall where all the exercise equipment were. And so behind the wall is where it happened.
Okay. Were there like shelves and exercise equipment back there? Okay. And how long were you, when you were kissing, what part of your body was touching what part of his body? Uh-huh. Was any part of his body touching any part of your body? Okay. Was he kissing you as well? Did any part of his tongue go inside your mouth at all? Okay. Did your tongue go inside his mouth? Okay. And then you said you stopped. Is there a reason why you stopped? Okay. And then you said later you went to the bathroom. How much later, if you remember? Was it right after that? Shortly after that?
I think it's later. I'm not sure how long after.
Okay. And you said you went to the bathroom. Tell me about that. How did you guys know to, how did you know to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, telling him that he's.
Okay. He said he wanted more.
Yeah.
What did you think that he meant by that?
I wasn't sure.
Okay. Did he tell you where to go so we could get more? Okay. And when you say the bathroom, tell me about that. What kind of bathroom was it? Okay, a staff bathroom. Can you get into the staff bathroom? Are you allowed in the staff bathroom? How did you get into the staff bathroom?
He put his key in the door.
Okay. Did you guys go together? Did he go first or something else?
I think it's like a mixture of both. Like he was like entering, and then I also stepped in. So like it's like enter step at the same time.
Okay. And then what happened when you both got into the bathroom?
That's where we proceeded to make out again.
Okay. So tell me about that. And I know I apologize. I'm going to have to ask you about details. If you could slow down, what's the very first thing that you did when you went inside the bathroom?
Discipline against the same.
Okay. And what part of his body was touching your body at that time?
His hand on my waist. My hands were on his hands.
Okay. And then what happened?
Then he turned off his camera, picked me up, and sat on me on the toilet.
Okay. So before that, was he standing, sitting, or something else when you guys were kissing and making out? He was standing. How did he get to the toilet?
Just like right next to it.
Okay. Okay. So then he sat down on the toilet and you said he pulled you.
Picked me up.
Okay.
Then he sat down on the toilet.
Okay. Where were you sitting? What part of your body was on what part of his body?
I was sitting on his lounge. My laps were touching his lap.
Okay. Were your legs across him? Were they straddling his legs or something else? Okay. Then what happened?
He asked me, what did you want to do?
And what did you say?
I told him, I don't know, I can't believe this is happening.
And then what happened?
And so we kissed, I touched his shoulders, and he kept asking the same question. I told him, I don't know, I've never done this before, like, I don't know. So it's like, okay, then we started kissing, and he picked me back up, and he pinned me against the wall.
And then what happened?
After he put me against the wall, you know, I put my legs down. He asked me first to lay on the ground, and I did do it. And then he just pulled my pants down, and where he did to touch.
What part of his body was touching your? And I know this is a really dumb question. How do you know his hands were touching your? Did it go inside your? Was it outside your? Both or something else? Okay. And again, how did you know his? Was it a finger, a hand? What was it that went inside your? A finger. And again, it's a really dumb question. How do you know his finger went inside your? Okay, thank you. I apologize. I know it's a really dumb question, but I have to make sure I understand. What happened then?
Well, that repetition kept happening, and I told him, like, I can't, but I didn't. I just wanted him to stop touching me because I was already, you know, cold now.
Okay.
And then he said, well, I didn't. I said, I know. I got down on my knees and.
So help me understand, I'm confused. You said he was sitting down. How were you able to perform? Was he wearing clothes when he went in the bathroom?
Yeah.
How were you able to perform oral sex if he had clothes on?
So when I was sitting on him,
Mhm.
he picked me up and pinned me against the wall. And by that time we were both standing. And so when he was fingering my and I told him to stop, my back was at the wall and I went down on my knees.
Okay. And how were you able to well, what happened then after you got down on your knees?
He undid his hands and
Okay. And again, this is a really dumb question. How do you know his penis entered your mouth? You've seen it. Could you feel it as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happened? Okay. Did he give you any warning before he came in your mouth?
No,
Did you want him to come in your mouth?
no.
Okay. What did you do after he came in your mouth? What did you do with the semen that was in your mouth? Okay. Then what happened?
I told him he messed up my makeup.
Okay.
And then he apologized, and so we proceeded to get ourselves, together as he left and stayed to wash my mouth and everything.
Okay. Is there a reason that you washed your mouth?
Just so that if there was any smell or anything,
Okay. Then what happened?
partly, and when the event was done, we left.
Okay. Now, I know you might not know the exact date, or do you know the date that happened?
It was April 19th.
Okay. And at that point, did you believe that you were in a relationship with Mr. Lee? What made you believe that you were in a relationship with Mr. Lee?
I was asking him, what is it?
Okay. And when was that? Was that after this occurred, before this occurred, or both, or something else? Okay. And what did he tell you?
He didn't want to answer.
Okay. But eventually he did.
Yeah.
And that's when he told you that he loved you?
First he said he didn't do this with everybody.
Okay.
Then he said he loved me.
Did you guys ever discuss any plans of being together after you were released from prison?
No, I did tell him we had 2 years left.
Okay. Did this ever happen any other times?
Not this actual type of event.
Okay. Were you ever physical with Officer Lee or Mr. Lee after that date? Yes. So tell me about that. What's the next time that it happened?
Somewhere in May, I don't know the exact.
Okay. And what happened in May?
Going to go pick up the jackets in the corner of the commissary. And he came in to the room and the kids, but at first he was big kids because there was a camera. And so I told him just turn your head, there was kids and the kids. And then I heard the coats behind me fall again. And I picked them back up to put them on to the hooks. And he lightly tried to grope my butt.
No, I didn't ask you this. The time in the staff bathroom, you talked about that his fingers touched your and went inside your, and that his went inside your mouth. Did any other part of his body touch any other part of your body in the bathroom? He's talked about your kissing. Anything other than that?
He snaked his hand under my uniform and tried to play with my.
Okay. And when was that? When did he do that?
He did that when I was straddling.
Okay. When you were sitting on his lap straddling him after he had first sat down in the toilet. And that's when he went up your shirt and you said he was fondling your. Okay. Was that on top of your clothes, underneath your clothes, or something else?
Underneath.
Okay. Now you said in the afterwards, in the back room where the coats were, was when he was touching, he tried to grope your butt. Tell me about that. What does that mean? Tried to grope your butt.
So he reached his hand out to touch me, but then he couldn't because his walkie-talkie was like stuck in that tight squeeze of a corner. And so I just felt his hand like lightly brush against my butt.
Okay. Then what happened?
I was laughing and we were laughing. I told him like, you're a little too big to fit through there. And we kind of like walked out laughing together.
Okay. Was there something that occurred in July of 2025 this year? Tell me about that. What happened then?
Red truck. And he had left clothes to come see me because usually I'm in the freezer by myself, put in ready to grab. So when he saw me, he walked or slithered his way all the way to the corner. And I was like, what are you doing? And I'm like looking behind the bread. And he's like, come here. And I'm like, okay. And we made out in the very far corner in the back. And, he proceeded to put his hand in my pants. And I told him, like, can't, like, we're working. And then he put my hand on his, and we just did stop.
Okay. When you said you put your hand on his, did he ask you to do that?
No, he just put my hand.
Oh, he grabbed your hand and put it on top of top of his, I'm sorry. Was that on top of his clothes, underneath his clothes, or something else? Okay. And then you told him that you didn't have, that you shouldn't, I missed that part.
Yeah, we can't because we're working.
Okay. Did you appreciate your job in food service? Did you want to lose your job in food service? Now, did you tell anyone else about what had happened with you and Officer Lee at first? How come? Okay. Okay. Did something change that you were able to talk about it? Tell me about that. How did it come out?
He said that they're walking through the walkway. And they have heard someone from here. And after that, they were just calling me in just to see because they had figured out that there was other girls.
And how did that make you feel? Do you need a second? Okay. Now, were you upset that he was involved with other prisoners?
Yeah.
And are you making stuff up today because he was involved with other prisoners?
No.
Do you want to be here today?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Now we had talked before. When this happened, was it consensual?
Yeah.
Do you view it differently now than you did when it first happened?
Yeah.
How come?
Because I realized that he played all of us, that he made all of us believe in him, and he loved us, and he did.
Let me have a second, please, Judge.
Ma'am, did you need a moment? It's okay if you do.
It's okay, just for it to be at
I know, but sometimes you need to take a breath. You can do that. We'll do that for you if that's too much. Huh?
I have no other questions, Ron.
Cross-examination.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Are you okay to answer some more questions? So you were working for food services when you met Mr. Lee. He came by your work as part of his job? What? To eat.
Yeah, I always thought it was to see me because he always came and asked at first, "Oh, can you give me an apple? Hey, can you come do this? Hey."
Okay, but this is an area where inmates and guards come to eat. You believe you were in a romantic relationship with Mr. Lee, correct?
Yeah.
And this started just while you were working food services. And this was because he told you that he loved you many, many times. He said at least 20 times. He told twice. Okay, I'm sorry. I must have misheard that. You passed him a note. Is that correct? But most of your communication was just verbal, correct? Did he ever give you any money?
No.
He never put any money on your books or anything like that? He never communicated with you through the jail phone systems? You were willingly engaging him in conversation, correct? You weren't threatened in any way into speaking with him? This first contact, you said on April 1st, where you offered him a brownie, correct? Why do you remember the date so specifically? Was there anything else important on that day?
I'm a very sentimental person. When I like someone, I remember very specific things because they're important to me.
And he said he placed his hands under your hands while you give him a brownie. You didn't report that interaction, correct? There's nothing about that. But you interpreted that as a romantic contact, right?
You know that officers and inmates can't touch.
Right.
I know that just because one of the things that the girls they always say, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble."
And did you believe that you could get in trouble? But regardless of that knowledge, you were willing to kind of see this relationship through or see where it's going to go, right? You weren't forced into a relationship. Okay. The field house incident, you were talking with Mr. Lee beforehand in the field house. The field house has a staff bathroom, and the staff bathroom is only accessible by a staff key, correct? You know if it locks if you go in there?
Not sure.
Have you ever been in there before?
No.
You went into the bathroom together, correct? And you started making out in the bathroom, right? In the bathroom, did he ever threaten you?
No.
Did you feel like you were ever not free to go?
Kind of yes, but at the same time no, because he had an audience.
Did you ever ask to leave? Okay. If you asked him to leave, how long did you know Mr. Lee before this incident?
I think at least 2 months.
Okay. Was he always kind to you? At that moment in the bathroom, did you feel like if you said, "Hey, I want to get out of here," he would have stopped you? He didn't. He did not restrain you, correct? He didn't block the exit. You didn't scream for help. You didn't try to leave. And you didn't ask to leave, right? You testified there was oral sex and digital penetration, right? You told him you had an orgasm, but you testified that was false. And you did that so he would stop doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
But you didn't directly say, stop.
I didn't directly.
Okay. And then it was after that you performed oral sex on him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that was voluntarily. You stayed in the bathroom afterwards. You said you washed your mouth and fixed your makeup, and you didn't report it afterwards. Okay, I want to jump to the May incident you talked about. You were walking towards there's a coat area.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? And he attempted to touch you, but was it his radio was caught on something that he couldn't quite do it? And you said you felt a light touch on your buttocks. Is that correct? And that's over the clothes?
Yeah.
And that was it. And you both kind of laughed about it and left. Okay. I'm going to jump to July. This was a incident. Well, let me go back to May. Were you forced to into that interaction? He didn't threaten you. You weren't held against your will.
Your Honor, I don't mind a couple questions, but I will object. It's not really relevant. Consent is not a defense to a CSC second degree by a corrections officer.
And
I would object and say that that's not
I
relevant.
understand that, Your Honor. It goes to potential future sentencing guideline. It's important to get this testimony out on the record. Whether or not somebody was held against their will or threatened or forced through use coercion is important to the record.
To the future sentencing guide?
Yes.
I find that a bit odd. They're in a place of confinement. So
They're in a prison.
how is the argument made that they're not somewhere against their will?
Well, somebody can be in a prison, but it would enhance the sentencing guidelines if somebody further confined a human being and said, you can't leave this bathroom, for example. That would score higher on a sentencing guideline. They're obviously the key to the prison.
You can do that factual digging someplace else. I'm gonna sustain the objection.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to July now. That was, you were working the bread truck and you went to a far corner together, correct?
You went over there and I went to go see the one.
Oh. And you said he placed your hand on his over the clothing, correct? And you told him we can't do this because you're both working. And then that interaction stopped.
The interaction didn't stop after that.
Okay. When you reported this, you only disclosed after an inspector spoke to you. And it was the inspector who essentially told you that there was other women.
No, I heard about it already, but I didn't want to be there.
Okay. Did the inspector bring that up to you? Okay. If you were in a real relationship, if you were the only woman, would you have ever disclosed this?
No.
You were not physically injured?
I mean, it's fine physical injury.
Did any part of your body require medical attention from any contact with Mr. Lee? And at any point in time, you did not believe you were in physical danger from Mr. Lee? And nothing further. Thank you.
If I may ask one question, Your Honor?
You may.
Oh, maybe three.
Three.
One topic.
Whenever an attorney tells me one, it's not gonna be.
Yeah, I apologize, Your Honor. You said that you didn't want, in the July incident, when you were in the freezer unloading the bread truck, that you didn't want to do anything because you were both working. Is that right? Were you working on the incident in the field house?
No,
Oh, what were you in the field house for?
I was actually there for a Christian event.
Okay. Gotcha. You were not on getting paid. You weren't doing your regular job. You were there for a Christian event. And that's when, so that was different than when you were loading bread. Okay. No further questions.
What kind of event?
It was a Christian event.
What was happening then? Do you recall?
I can't remember who the people were, but they were just like singing, praising the Lord. We're having prayer.
And so that's what you were attending when this event happened? Okay. Thank you. Any questions based upon the court's question?
None from the people, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Oh, Your Honor, my officer, well, yeah, if the officer may go to the bathroom, we can.
Yes, why don't I take it before they bring the next one? Why don't we take about a 15-minute break?
Sure, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Court is standing in recess.
All rise.
Take a seat. We are continuing in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Lee. Counsel is present. First question I have for your counsel is the prior two witnesses, the guards were asking me whether or not transport officers, whether or not they could be released, that they could return. Is there any objection?
People have no objection, Your Honor.
No objection, thank you.
All right, so the first two can leave and then we can have the other. I got it. Is it on?
It is now.
Is that still in the book? Same place. TCU was.
Well, some,
Oh.
allowed to them and they drop it. Okay.
It used to be physically located.
It is, there's the AU
Okay.
unit in Livonia, but that's the second district, first district's. Is,
Oh, you're in a different district.
I'm in first district, right?
Okay.
So sometimes I do still use second district stuff, but
Is this in the first district?
now it's. Oh, sorry, this is first. Washington.
Yeah.
Bless you. So second district.
Bless you. It's now present. Go ahead.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Have a seat. Don't state your name, state your initials of your first and last name.
A.D.
All right. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Miss AD. I noticed that you're wearing a uniform and that you're having handcuffs on. How come? And what prison are you at currently? I was known as WHV. And did something happen when you were a prisoner at WHV that brings you here today? What happened? Okay. Now, before we start, I'm going to ask you some questions. You said something about Joshua Lee. Do you see Joshua Lee here in the courtroom? Can you please point to him and tell me what he is wearing? Okay. If I may, Your Honor.
You may.
This gentleman right here, may the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant Joshua Lee.
That objection record shall so reflect.
So let me ask you this first, AD, do you want to be here? Is there a reason that you're here today? Okay. So we filed a subpoena and we writted you out of the facility to testify here today. Okay. And you understand that you have to testify truthfully. And you're going to testify truthfully. Okay. Have I ever told you what to say? In fact, have I ever directed you that I just want you to tell the truth? So how did you first meet Mr. Lee? And was that at what facility? Okay. And you say he was working at a CO. Where would you see him when he was working at a CO? In what part of the prison? Did you have an opportunity to talk to him when he was working on the yard?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the nature of your conversations? What were you guys talking about?
Just talk about. I always ask him how he was doing. It's all right.
Did you guys ever develop a personal relationship after talking with him?
I know.
Tell me about that. What do you mean? Kind of.
Well, I asked him. I don't know. Yes, we talked about certain things.
Did that ever develop into any type of personal or romantic relationship?
I'm a flirt. That's it.
Okay. So you guys flirted. As a result of flirting, were you ever involved physically with Officer Lee? Tell me about that. When did that occur? About what month of this year, July of 2025? How did that happen? How did you know to go into the staff bathroom? What happened?
They take the paper towel with me and throw it away in the field house. And he said, you know, I threw it away and I didn't know where he was. And then I looked around and saw him using the bathroom. And I really let him start that.
Now, did you know when you went into the field house that it was the intent to make out or to be involved with Mr. Lee? How did you know to go into the field house to get involved with Mr. Lee?
I've been wanting to do it.
Did you talk with him about going into the field house to do something before you went in there?
I just really went in there, yeah. I don't really make a spot where to go. I just put it in there.
Okay. Did he ever talk to you before you went in there about getting together and being physical?
Yeah. Yeah. When I get out, we could do something.
I'm sorry. I think I heard that. Could you please repeat it? I had trouble hearing that. You said when you got out, what was going to happen? Okay. So you were under the impression that when you got out, you and he would develop a relationship or continue a relationship. Did he talk to you about you living with him when you got out? I'm sorry?
Yes.
And what did he say about that? Okay. And make sure I heard that right, and I apologize, AD. You know, I have to ask you some dumb questions. I have to make sure I heard you right. You said that he talked about you paroling to live with him at where he lived. Okay. So you said you went into the staff bathroom of the field house. What happened when you went into the staff bathroom of the field house?
Yes, sir. And,
Okay,
yes, I wanted it in the vagina, but he said no. And so I said, it's you. And I gave him oral sex.
okay. So I'm going to back up a little bit to make sure I understand what happened. You said that you were kissing. Were you standing up, sitting down, or something else? Tell me about your guys kissing. Okay. So when you were kissing, what part of his body was touching your body? I'm sorry?
His hand touched my hair.
Okay. And again, I know this is a really dumb question. When you say down there, what do you mean? Where was his hand? And was it on top of your, inside your, or something else? On top. And was it on top of your clothing or underneath your clothing? And this is a really dumb question. Where is he touching you on your? And that's located at the top of your. I know it's a dumb question. And this is a really dumb question. Again, I apologize. How did you know he was touching on your and rubbing on your vagina?
I don't know.
Could you, I know it's a really dumb question. Could you feel it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see his hand?
Yes.
Now, were you wearing pants?
Yes.
This is, how was he able to touch your clit if you were wearing pants? Okay. You said he put his hand, was it underneath your pants? You have to say yes or no. Okay, thank you. And were you wearing underwear?
Yes.
Was his hand, did he put his hand inside your underwear as well? Okay. And then he asked you where you wanted it. Is that correct? What did you think he meant by that?
In my mouth or in my vagina or in my ass.
Where did you want what? Okay.
In my vagina, but I wanted his.
Okay. Now he said he didn't, you said that you wanted his in your, he said no. Did he give you a reason why? Okay. But then you said you wanted to please him. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
And I apologize. I know when you say the court reporter may know how to spell that, but we have to make sure we know that you mean yes as opposed to no, okay? The then you said you gave what part of his body touched what part of his body? Okay. And where did his go? In your mouth. And again, a really dumb question. How do you know his went in your mouth? Because what? Oh yeah, because you actually put it in your mouth and you could feel it in your mouth? Okay. And did he finish?
Yes.
How do you know he finished? Okay, you swallowed it. Did he warn you or tell you before he finished in your mouth?
I said, I tell him to get going. And I swallowed.
Okay. So he asked you where he wanted it, where you wanted it to go, and you said keep going.
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about that his hand went inside your pants and touched your on the top of your underneath your pants and underwear, and you said that his went in your mouth. Did any part of his body touch any other part of your body? Did his hands or anything else ever touch your?
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, to tell me, I was not there, so help me understand.
Yes. He touched me.
And did that happen before or after you gave him, or something else? Okay. And what were you guys doing when he touched your? Okay. And was that on top of your clothes, underneath your clothes, or something else? Okay. Did you lift up your clothes or did he reach underneath them? If you remember. Okay. Were you wearing a bra? Was it underneath your bra? And did he touch your bra? Did he touch your? You okay? Did he touch your nose or just your or both? Thank you. And I appreciate your answering. I know these are difficult questions. I appreciate your help. I know they're really dumb questions too. Do you need a break? You okay? Now, at that time, did you believe that what happened between you and Mr. Lee was like it was just you and him, that he hadn't done this to anybody else?
Yes and no, I knew about
Okay. Did you ask him about the others? And what did he tell you?
the, told me and about this stuff. I kind of knew.
Okay. Did you confront him about that? About him possibly being with someone else? Okay. And again, what did he tell you? Now, did you want this information to come out about what happened between you and Mr. Lee?
Absolutely not.
How did it come out? Tell me what happened.
Girls putting tights about, and they just saw me in trouble.
Okay. So when you said girls, help me understand. What do you mean?
There's two at the picnic table.
Were they prisoners or staff or something else? Prisoners. Okay. So two other prisoners had mentioned
Yeah,
something.
because I saw the tights and I read them.
Okay. Okay. Who showed you the kites?
I saw the inspector. Faulty. I saw them on there and I looked at it and I saw the name on top.
Was it a male inspector or a female inspector you thought? Okay. Did you tell the inspector about what happened between you and Mr. Lee?
First, I was denying it and everything, and then they pulled up the camera footage, and then
I'm sorry, you burst out crying? How come?
because I didn't want him. I didn't want him, but then look through this, and neither did I.
Okay. So you didn't want to go through this, you didn't want to put him through.
I don't want to be in. You guys told me I had to.
What made you change your mind and tell the inspector what happened instead of denying that it happened?
Because they were told, but.
If I may have a second, please, Judge?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
All right. Cross-examination.
Okay. You said you first met Mr. Lee in the yard?
Hold on one more, Counsel. You can come back up. It's okay. You're welcome. Go ahead, Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. And you described yourself as a flirt.
Yes,
Did you initially approach him?
yes, I know, I didn't think so.
It was mutual. But you were flirting with him.
Yeah.
Did you found him attractive?
Yes,
I would say.
I like males, not females.
You guys would engage in conversations that became personal, correct? And those, did you agree those conversations kind of, escalated to like fraternization? Is that correct? And this staff bathroom incident, this was the only sexual incident, is that correct? You believe you understood that you were part of a relationship with Mr. Lee, correct? But you also understood that there might be other women, correct? Did Mr. Lee ever threaten you or coerce you? When you went in the bathroom, that was a staff bathroom? And you know if it locked when you went inside? You know if the bathroom locked behind you?
No, I didn't know if it did or not.
But that was your first time in there?
Yes, sir.
Did Mr. Lee ever give you any money?
No.
Never put any money on your books or anything? So you weren't forced to go into the bathroom, right?
I wasn't forced.
Or you were not held against your will? Were you ever prevented from leaving the bathroom if you wanted to?
Your Honor, I give a little leeway here, but I object to any further incidents here. Again, consent is not a defense to CSC second degree employee, MDLC employee against a person.
I can move on, Your Honor. I think they're
I think you
questions are
should.
relevant, but it goes to the
They're relevant to what?
it goes to the future sentencing guideline.
That makes a presumption, which makes me curious as to why I'm here, but okay, go ahead.
After the incident in the bathroom, you did not want this to get out. Mr. Lee ever force you? Was that under his, did he demand that, or is that something you wanted on your own? Okay. You, at some point, were by an inspector at the prison, and they asked you about this relationship, correct? And you initially denied it only until the point you were shown video evidence that you couldn't dispute, correct? You were not physically injured at all from the situation? No further questions.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Additional witnesses for the people.
Pardon? Oh, the next witness is coming right now.
All right, very good.
Right here.
Sir, please come forward to be sworn. Yeah, you can take off that. I'm right up here. Sir, if you please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes, sir. All right, have a seat. Upon having a seat, please state and spell your name for the record.
Adam Zwolinski, ADAM, SKY.
All right, you may inquire.
Thank you. Inspector Zwolinski, where are you currently employed?
Women's here on Valley Correctional Facility.
What do you do there?
Inspector.
What did inspector do at the prison?
I kind of describe it as internal affairs at facility level. We investigate allegations against prisoners, staff, possible drugs, any possible crimes or rule infractions at the facility.
Are you also in charge of safety and security of the facility? That includes maintaining external security, right? Like making sure that there's no holes in the walls. That also include making sure that staff complies with policy to make sure the prison's safe. Did you become involved of allegations against a corrections officer, Joshua Lee, at that facility? You know approximately when? Of what year? Did you find out that several female prisoners made allegations about Mr. Lee?
Throughout my investigation.
Okay. And you were one of the individuals involved in the investigation.
Correct.
So when a prisoner makes a complaint, there's lots of different types of complaints that they can make. Is that correct? There's also different kinds of investigations in the prison. Is that right? Is there a difference between one that you guys instigate and one that a prisoner instigates?
Yes.
So what's the difference? Help me understand.
Prisoner, Your Honor, just to protect the relevancy.
I can,
What element in the question go to?
I can move on, Judge. I've just, it's really background, but I can move on. It's okay.
But go ahead and move on.
Sure. Sure. Did you, let me ask this. Did you speak with or review statements from the 3 identified victims in this case, on the record known as BB, AD, and LX?
I became aware of a statement from AD at the beginning. And that's there was no specifics at the time, if you can recall it. After interviewing her, I was able to obtain specifics. Then after that, the other victims were identified and I conducted interviews with them.
As a result of your interview, were you able to corroborate any part of their statements?
Yes, sir.
How were you able to corroborate their statements?
Institutional video coverage.
And let's start with BB. By BB, you know who I'm speaking of.
Yes.
Did you find any video evidence to support her statement?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And let's go to, prisoner BB mentioned something about another prisoner who she called Queenie or Queen having a seizure. Is that correct? Did you verify or identify who Queen was?
I did.
What was the name of that prisoner, Queen?
That's her nickname.
Okay, and who was it? What was her name?
Prisoner.
Were you able to verify whether or not prisoner had a medical event on the day in question?
Yes, sir.
How did you do that?
Between interviewing prisoner and verifying with healthcare that she was seeing a healthcare that day for said medical. Okay.
Thank you. Let's talk about prisoner LX. You know who I'm speaking of by that initials?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to locate any verifying video for her incidents that she discussed? How many dates, if you remember, with her? Okay. And finally, were you able to find any video evidence regarding the victim known as, or prisoner known as AD? Thank you. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
May I have this marked as exhibit number 1?
Thank you.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Showing you what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit number 1. What did I just hand you?
USB flash drive.
You recognize that flash drive?
Yes, sir.
How do you recognize that flash drive?
It contains the video provided with the investigation during custody.
In fact, you gave that to me. Okay. And that contains the videos of the incidents in question.
Yes, sir.
The complete unredacted video that was taken from the facility.
Yes, sir.
Now let me ask you this. Is there any reason for a corrections officer to be in a staff bathroom with a prisoner?
No.
And based on your training and experience, well, let me ask you this. Part of your job is to investigate corrections officers for alleged misconduct.
Correct.
As part of that job, are you familiar with the trainings that the officers have? Are you familiar with the policies of the Department of Corrections? Does the Department of Corrections have policies regarding prisoner physical contact with staff? And what are those policies? Are corrections officers in any way, when you go to, well, let me ask you this. When someone becomes a correction officer, what's the first training that they do? What's it called?
Your Honor, I just object to the relevancy of
Overruled.
the academy, the initial training academy.
Okay. And at the training academy, are they notified that they're not supposed to have any contact with prisoners? Are they specifically instructed regarding the law of CSC second degree that if they have any contact with prisoners, they are guilty of a crime? Now, how many women's prisons are there in the state of Michigan? Are men allowed to work as corrections officers inside of the housing units?
They're not allowed assigned to work in there, but they are allowed to respond to emergencies or yes.
As the only women's prison, do the corrections officers who work at WHB, are they giving any additional training, or are they reminded about sexual contact?
Yes, they're given female offender training, it's called. I believe it's 72 hours worth of training, case management offenders.
And is part of that training again to express that they are to have no physical contact with female prisoners? They also again reminded that it is a felony to have sexual contact with a prisoner regardless of consent.
Your Honor, object, relevancy calls for legal conclusion.
Your Honor, I'm asked.
Overruled.
Thank you. Did you verify or check whether or not Mr. Lee had this training? And had he had this training? So he had the training at the academy? Did he have the training at WHV? No further questions, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination?
I have no questions.
Sir, thank you. And just so that we're clear, when they indicate no contact, sir, excuse me, sir, just so that we're clear, when you indicate that there's to be no contact, that is in a circumstance in which they are not responding to some type of an emergency or some other type of situation that would justify the use of some physical force or restraint.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
May I do a follow-up, Judge?
Yes, you may.
At the WHV, are male officers allowed to do pat downs of female prisoners?
No.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Any other witnesses?
May I have a second, Judge?
You may. It's mine.
All right.
If we hadn't said so, exhibit 1 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. I wanted to wait till the end of my proofs, and that is the end of my proofs, and ask that it be admitted.
Any witnesses for the defense?
Defense will not be calling any.
All right. How long is exhibit 1?
Your Honor, I do apologize because it's unredacted. It's probably about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Anyway, Oscar, let me ask the inspector, Judge. He'll have a better.
Okay.
One of the better memories than I do. Ask just to wait the call. Your Honor, to the best of our guess, from our memory, the videos are about 5 to 10 minutes long, and there are about 8 of them, 8 or 9 of them, because they're from different cameras and different
Got
images. So probably too long for today.
Today. Maybe. All right. All right. So we're going to have to turn this, and I'm going to, of course, have to look at exhibit 1. I do, because I'm a bit concerned, and well, let's try to figure out what day we're going to. And I do have a question for counsel. Is there a reason, at least given the testimony, that CSC 1 is not charged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Would you like me to state
Yes,
this on the record?
please.
So, Your Honor, we had this discussion internally within the Michigan Department of Attorney General. And we believe that there is a intentional decision by the Michigan legislature to not none of the elements of CSC first degree are present. Because in order to have CSC first degree, you have to have penetration and there has to be an aggravating factor. There are no existing aggravating factors. Additionally, Your Honor, although for purposes of the CSC second degree statute, consent is not a defense, consent is a defense to penetration. So we found ourselves in a situation where the legislature has determined that if a corrections officer touches the breast of a female prisoner, that is a 15-year felony. But if the corrections officer places his inside of her, that is no additional charge. We considered charging CSC first under commission of another felony, with the underlying felony being CSC second degree. But
Just so that I'm clear, and
Yes, Judge.
I'll let you go on, but criminal jury instruction, the element 2011A, you're saying is not applicable to a CSC one.
That's correct, Your Honor. In fact, it is the only aggravated factor that only exists in CSC 2 and not in CSC 1. So it appears to us that the legislature made an initial determination that for some reason, a prisoner can consent to contact. Can consent to penetration, but cannot consent to contact. And we asked, the Michigan Department of Attorney General asked the legislature to address this, what we considered was a hole in the statute or an error in the statute, an oversight by the legislature. That is why we did not charge CSC first degree, Your Honor. We considered charging CSC in the first degree under commission of another felony, with CSC second being the other felony. But we believe that because of the way the statutory scheme is written, that the legislature intended this. And we think it should be corrected by legislative action, but we are stuck with the statute as is. And it was a lot of discussion,
Well,
Your Honor.
I'm sure there was. And I'll go and certainly look at the statute, but regarding the commission of another felony, just so that I'm clear in terms of the rationale is that that is not because 2011A exists, that the use of that would be going against what the intent of the legislature would be regarding that statute.
Yes, Your Honor, that the term other felony would not include a sexual contact that occurred during the same event of the sexual penetration, during the same physical event. That the legislature did not contemplate that those would be read together in that manner, and that they made an intentional decision to treat corrections officers' acts of penetration differently. And again, it is
Or
notable.
to treat women or other people in prison as less than human of those that are out of prison. Is
That
that
is not the position.
kidding?
That's not the position of the Michigan Department of Attorney General, Your Honor.
I understand that,
But
but
yes, Your Honor, I read the
Ultimately-
statute as being different, because the only factor that I'm aware of that exists for CSC 2 that doesn't exist for CSC 1 is in regards to the status of a prisoner being the victim and the defendant being a corrections officer or a deputy.
okay, thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, counsel? No, all right. I don't need much time. When do you guys want to come back?
Yeah, I'm available anytime, Your Honor. Not on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, Your Honor, but other than that, I should be available.
Well, I'm available those days too, but I get it.
When is the first available for the court?
I can do the 23rd.
That works for the people.
What?
Your Honor.
I can do Monday at 11. I can do the 23rd, which is Tuesday. I can do any day. So if you want me to just pick a day, I'll pick a day. And I'd pick Monday at 11. You think
Could we
that's
look at early January?
early in January?
Yes.
You may want me to move up that date because I'm a little bit concerned about the bond that's been set in this case. I'm gonna let you know. And I was gonna address that, and maybe I'll give a date after we address the issue of bond. Given at least up to this point, the testimony that I've heard, and I'm exceedingly concerned because there are 4 15-year offenses involving CSC. And this individual has a personal recognizance $5,000 bond. And after listening to the testimony, I don't believe that that bond is appropriate. So did you wish to address that?
Yeah, so I mean,
Go ahead.
he has no criminal history, lives with his parents. He's not, has no zero contact with the jail or any of these complaining witnesses whatsoever. He has no ability to physically enter the jail. He's, completely banned. He's no further of a flight risk. He could have a GPS tether. He has no resources to go anywhere, no other family anywhere. Everybody lives here in Michigan. This is where he's grown up. He's never assaulted any other person. I think a GPS tether may.
What did you just say? He never assaulted?
Other than this incident, he has no criminal history.
Well, which incident we're talking about? Which of the 3?
Other than this entire court case in its entirety, he has no history of assault. Yeah. So if you'd like to change the bond to increase it, if you believe some sort of flight risk, I think a GPS tether could cure that, Your Honor. But he has no ability to go into the jail or even, I guess, contact these women.
Frankly, as I listen to it, my concern is actually more of him being a danger to the community. Because what I see is absolutely predator behavior as it regards to these women. I mean, I'm listening very closely to their testimony, and he is preying on them. And they can go nowhere.
I heard the testimony.
And I can hear that. I see that as a significant problem.
I heard the testimony as well, Your Honor. These were consensual. That it's some of the testimonies that it was the women reaching out, initiating and pursuing my client. Doesn't mean we did.
Counsel, but you can't have consent here.
I understand, but just for the purposes of bond, it's different.
How's that work? I mean,
Just responding to your argument here.
that it's consensual, and so that I should take that into account? I mean, I don't.
In regards to the issue of being predatory or not, that in at least one or more of the witnesses today, they were actively pursuing him.
Alex told twice, you watched her reaction, that he loved her. For what purpose would that have been said?
That he may have said that, but how does that make him a danger to the community telling somebody he loves them, whether he does or not? Is he physically?
You don't understand predatory behavior at all, do you?
I do.
Go ahead with your argument, and I'll hear from the people if they wish to give argument.
I'm sorry, regarding the bind over?
Well, no, regarding bond. Because I do not believe that a $5,000 PR bond is an appropriate bond in the case, particularly in light of what testimony I have just heard.
Well, no ability to affect or contact these women forward. He has, other than this case, has no history of assaulting any person. He, speaking with him, this is somebody who needs to see a psychologist and maybe get more into his mental state, Your Honor. But regarding danger to the community, he's at home with his parents. I mean, home confinement, maybe a good option. But he has nowhere to go.
Anything from the people?
Your Honor, I do wish to say that the defendant is not charged with CSE first degree. If he would have, this court would have an option of not giving him any bond in this case.
Correct.
That is a legal reason why we did not charge him, not a factual one. However, and I do share the court's opinion regarding the nature of the predatory behavior in this case. I believe that the victims in this case were hand chosen by Mr. Lee because of their characteristics, and he used that to form relationships with them.
You know, you better, hold on a second, Chuck. You better check him. Young man, that does not work in this courtroom at all. Am I understood? Go ahead, sir.
But I will say, Your Honor, that Mr. Lee did cooperate with law enforcement when they talked to him, and did eventually turn himself in when he was notified of the warrant. Correct? Okay, yeah, he did surrender at his door when the fugitive team arrived, Your Honor, so he did not. So I did want to make sure the court was aware of that information as well. But I leave the decision of bond up to this court.
Anything else you want to say?
Just that if you're inclined to modify bonds, we just ask to be paired with conditions rather than any excessive monetary amount. That's due to his.
You know, but can I just tell you this though, guys? I'm not sure what's going on in his head, and it worries me because I don't know if you were watching your client during the course of these proceedings, during the testimony, and I don't know why defendants don't understand that judges sit up here, we can see pretty much everything, and then we have other eyes all around the courtroom. And it's that same kind of behavior when the Attorney General started speaking.
I didn't say that, Your Honor. I mean, if I may, I mean, when you ask me, do I understand what predatory behavior is? There's not a level of intelligence here, Your Honor. My client is not smart. And if that makes a difference to you, he's not a shark in the ocean. He's not using high intelligence here, which is reflected in the jail and the courtroom here. I would thought.
Well, that would even worry me more, quite frankly. I mean, I kind of get what you're getting at, but that.
Yes, you can find him to his home in lieu of any excessive bail amount here.
I'm going to continue the preliminary examination to the soonest available date that I have, which is going to be December 22nd, 2025 at 11 a.m. for a decision. This time, given the testimony that I've heard, pending also the court's review of the statute, quite frankly, and I want to take a close look at that, not that I don't trust what the Attorney General came up with, but I certainly want to take a look at that regarding these particular charges and really having listened very closely to these three women in their testimony. Court does not believe that the bond as it's currently set at a personal recognizance $5,000 bond appropriate. I'm going to increase the defendant's bond to a $50,000 cash or surety bond. If defendant does post, defendant may only be released upon a GPS tether with home confinement. You may take it. Defendant's remanded.
Thank you, Your Honor. That being said,
Sir?
can we do Tuesday, the 6th of January?
Well, hold on a second, sir. Hold on a second. Do the 6th. Because counsel, I don't know why you would be asking me for the 6th of January.
I have scheduling. I'm gonna be out of town.
Yeah, but counsel, I get it, but I just increased your client's bond. So what I did is I gave him, you're gonna have to back up one row, please. No, I understand, but you just need to back up one row. You can go into the second row, just not that row. I just increased your client's bond. I would imagine you'd want a hearing as soon as possible. So I gave you the earliest possible date that I could, which would be the 22nd. Do you really want me to put this out into January 6th?
Can I have 1 second to talk to my family?
Can I have a second? You can take him back. I will set it and we'll let him know.
I'm good, guys. Don't worry.
We are not going to bring him back out. We're just going to get a date. Which date, counsel?
January 6th, please.
Then preliminary examination will be continued to January 6, 2026 at 2 p.m.